Hi everyone, it's Marnie and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about some romance books because who doesn't love a romance book, and I want to conjoin it with like some Kindle Unlimited recommendations. I know Kindle Unlimited is such a big thing and everyone's always looking for books on there so they don't have to spend extra money on books. So I just thought I'd throw another video in there. There's a few on my channel that people seem to like. They're like one of my most viewed videos. So I just thought I'm going to make another one, and this one's solely going to be on romance books. Kindle Unlimited is something I recently got, so quite a lot of these books I actually brought and read before having Kindle Unlimited and knowing anything about it, but I'm so glad that I've got it now. It's just such a lifesaver. It saves a lot of money and it's just discovering all of these books that I wouldn't normally discover, so I'm quite excited to get into this video. The first romance book / series I want to talk about is the Sinners of Saints series by L.J. Shen. It is a companion novel series, so each book follows a different person and a different couple, but they all kind of intertwine and know each other and they're all part of the same kind of town or friendship group. There's 5 books in the original Sinners of Saints series, and then there is a spin-off series called the All Saints High, and I think there's 3 books at the moment. I don't know if there's going to be any more, and that follows like the previous series Kids, and it's just really fun. It's quite a quick, fast-paced series to get into. Each book is just very well written. All the boys are just so lovable. Like, I fell in love with all of them. First book being Vicious, and it's one of those kind of bully romances in high school, but he redeems himself in the end. It's like a bully and victim kind of romance, so if you're not into that, then sadly this book probably won't be for you, but the rest of the series will be, and I would recommend reading it anyway just to see and get your bearings. If you don't like it, you can skip it, but it's a really good series. I like the different time periods. It flashes between present day and then back when they were in high school, so that's quite fun. So the series focuses on Vicious and his friends, and each book is of a different friend, and it's just, yeah, it's really good. It's really fun to get into, so I definitely recommend you go check them out. The second book I want to talk about is a bit of a like fantasy romance thrown in there, paranormal romance, and that's Pestilence by Thalissa. I honestly, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know I can't pronounce names for anything, but you'll see on the screen what her name is, and definitely let me know in the comments if you've read any of her books how to pronounce it. This is book 1 in the 4 Horsemen series, and it follows obviously the 4 horsemen, Pestilence, that come to Earth and fall in love with humans, and it's a little bit adult. There's a few raunchy scenes in there, but it's just so good. I've only read the first book. I need to read War, which is the second book, but I just really enjoyed this. It was recommended to me as part of my book club and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, the second one is on my TBR and I can't wait to get around to it. The next book or series is a series of standalone novels by Vicky Lund and Penelope Ward, and this is just a bunch of 6 books, I believe, by Vicky Lund and Penelope Ward that they wrote together, co-authored, and they just wrote a series of standalone novels, and they're just really fun and really flirty and just kind of, again, quick, easy reads. Like, that's all this is. I love a good romance book that you just get so attached to that you basically read it in one sitting. Like, that is what I would say all of these books are. I've only read a couple from this series. I've read Stuck Up Sue and Cocky Bastard, and both of them I thoroughly enjoyed, and I would just recommend going and reading them, and of course the rest. I'm gonna get around to them at some point, but yeah, the books are really fun. Like, one of them is like a beach house and roommates and all that kind of stuff, and then another one is like a girl who finds a rich man's phone on the subway and has to return it to him, and then obviously there's little something that goes on there, but it's just so fun. I think they're my favourite kind of romance book is a standalone. I do prefer companion novel series as opposed to 1 to 3 books based on the same couple, as I do enjoy them and I have read a few books like it, but I just, sometimes it can get a little bit boring and a little bit tedious, so I do love myself a little one-off romance book. The 4th book I want to talk about is The Cruel Prince by Jade or Ajade, and this book again is one of those high school bully victim kind of stories. As cliche and as cringy as it is, like, I just love this trope. Well, I loved it when I was a little bit younger, and then it's followed me through to adulthood. I like to read some of them sometimes still. I think half of it is me reminiscing on like all the Wattpad books that I used to read, but I do still just really enjoy it. Like, I probably will grow out of it at some point, I'm slightly hoping I will, but also like I hope I don't, because it's just so good sometimes to just throw that kind of story in there. As much as like I don't agree with bullying, and that whole trope is very overdone, and the whole like bully victim, like I don't really feel like the bully should ever, I don't be rewarded for his actions or anything like that, but it's just, there's something about it, I don't know what it is, but I just can't read enough of them. The fifth book is The Truth About Heartbreak by B. Celeste. This again is one of them books, so I'm not going to talk too much, but it follows two different timelines again. It likes to flash forward and back between a girl when she was younger and falling for her brother's best friend, until now it's like 3 years later where he's come back and finally stuff starts to happen. And that's all I'm really going to say about that. Go give it a try for yourself. The sixth and final book I want to talk about today, I've actually spoke about before, but it's up there with one of my like all-time favourites, I think, and that's Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. This book is a little bit taboo, and it might put you off when you hear a little bit of the synopsis, but don't let it put you off, because if you haven't quite read a book like this before, start reading it, it makes a lot more sense, and it's not as weird as it seems, I promise. But this book follows a girl that falls in love with her boyfriend's dad. I know, but just try it before you judge me, before you judge Penelope Douglas, before you judge anyone who loves this book, because quite a few people I've told to read this book actually really enjoyed it. So definitely go and give it a try for yourself. So that's the end of my Kindle Unlimited romance recommendations. Definitely let me know if you've read any, if you're going to read any, if they sound interesting to you in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!